Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Friday, February 2nd. We got a pretty wintry forecast coming up. First of all, though, the storm for early next week does look like it probably is going to hit Ohio and maybe southern lower Michigan. But we'll keep an eye on that because that could be a pretty good snowmaker as well. But we got plenty of snow coming this way, and you can see if the groundhog knows what he's talking about, he'll probably see his shadow, meaning 6 more weeks of winter. And as far as that storm goes over the weekend, we're going to see the lake effect snows. The advisory is until 1 o'clock today. Once that is finished, I think with the afternoon package, you're going to see winter weather advisories for much of the state. And I think there'll be an area where we may see some winter storm watches, and we'll show you that in just a moment. And again, I think 3 to 5 inches or more could fall across much of the MAC and LAC areas with this system. And then as you get over towards Newaygo to the west and to the northwest, I think 6 or more inches of snow could fall. And again, we're going to continue to watch that storm for early next week. Right now, it looks like Ohio, maybe southern lower Michigan, but especially Ohio, I think you're in the bullseye as it looks right now, and that could certainly change. And if we look at the conditions for yesterday, we had a high of 34. That was early in the morning, and as we talked about, we'd have falling temperatures all day long, and we got down to 10 here in Breckenridge last night. About 1/100th of an inch of precipitation, 1/10 of an inch of snow, just a trace here and there of some snow on the ground, but overall it's pretty green out there, but that's going to change. 23.1 inches of snow so far for the season. And if we look at conditions around the area this morning, you can see temperatures are pretty chilly, down around 10 to 12 degrees in most areas, 16 over that Clarksville with a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. And again, these winter weather advisories off to the southwest, that'll probably end around 1 o'clock. That's when they're set to expire, if not before then. And then when the National Weather Service issues its afternoon forecast package, do not be surprised to see much of the area under a winter weather advisory, although I think they could certainly probably even wait until tomorrow morning, but we'll see what they come up with. As far as the satellite view this morning, you can really see the where the lake effect begins and the cloud development begins as that cold air rushes across the Great Lakes, and you can see the really nice feeder bands on Lake Superior. We'll show you that on radar as well, and you can see lake effect continues to pound much of the areas on the downwind of the Great Lakes. And you can see our next system on the satellite also beginning to drop down with that Arctic front that's going to sag down. Low pressure system will come out of the plains and move almost due east right across the border of southern lower Michigan. So just to the north of that, for much of the area, it looks like a pretty good amount of snow could fall. Not a major winter storm, but certainly enough that it would be plowable snow as it looks right now. And the reason why we're turning colder is pretty evident. You can see as these storms move up into the Gulf of Alaska and the warm air comes up across the eastern Pacific and the west coast, that dislodges the cold air, and you can see how it's digging this trough across the Great Lakes in the Midwest. And that's why we're getting the cold air. We're going to continue to see that for some time. If we look at the radar, you can see the really nice feeder bands, especially coming off Lake Superior, as we seen evident on the satellite view, and also downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario as well. You can see some of the precipitation developing. This is near the border of the cold and warm air, and as that warmer air tries to move up into the cold air, with that low pressure system developing and moving off to the east, it's going to help to overrun. And we're going to get, again, a pretty widespread, long duration snow event, beginning some of it in a scattered form late tonight into tomorrow. But I think the best bet will be for tomorrow afternoon, and especially for tomorrow night into early Sunday. I think that's when the bulk of the snow is going to fall. As far as the weather map, we're going to take a look at the weather map for Saturday morning. For tomorrow morning, that low pressure system in northeast Nebraska is going to move pretty much east to maybe just slightly south of due east into the northern Indiana area. And again, that whole time we expect snow to develop and continue to fall across much of the area. Eventually that storm will move off to the east and we'll have colder air wrapping in behind it. And then we'll watch the storm develop as energy drops out of the Rockies down into the southern plains. And then again, right now the best bet is that storm moves up across the southern Ohio Valley, giving much of Ohio some very heavy snow, especially for the central portions of Ohio, I think. From there to the north, maybe into southeast lower Michigan, southwest Ontario. Again, all of the area, though, needs to watch for that storm early next week as well. As far as just the next 72 hours, you can see much of the area anywhere between 3 to 6 inches. And then again, this area, kind of what I have outlined here, you can see where the outline of the darker areas, I think that's the best chance where we could see winter storm watch is issued, and we'll show you that again in just a minute. Our forecasts are going to be very cold today. Highs only in the teens, down to 12 tonight, and then as that warm air tries to push in, we'll see temperatures getting up into the upper 20s, and that's when the snow begins. About 3 to 5 plus inches of snow lasts into early Sunday. Cold temperatures through much of next week, and then we'll keep an eye on that storm. But right now, the best bet is Ohio gets clobbered, and maybe far southeast lower Michigan, but everyone in the MAC, LAC area should watch this storm because it could be a pretty good snow producer. As far as the weather watch this morning, you can see all the wind chill advisories, the winter weather advisories. Again, these in southwest lower Michigan expected to expire, and then after they expire, that's when we may see some new issuances of winter weather advisories. And this area where I've got highlighted in the yellow, I think this would be the best area that could see over 6 inches of snow, and so we may see winter storm watches in or close to this area. So we'll keep an eye on that for later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning. If there's a watch, it'll most likely be issued with the afternoon packages. Advisories probably just as well, or they may wait until tomorrow morning to issue them, but I think they'll probably issue them late this afternoon or this evening for the area. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and 73s to all.